Tech afternoon, Mambatuon. I will be talking about my efforts with Tabangay during Typhoon Odette. To answer the question stated wherein I had to list the digital platform or the social media platform and what their uses were, I'm going to be going through each and every one of them here to answer that question. Now, after Odette, the morning after Odette, I strolled around from the road of Gaisano Grand Mall until Marigondon National High School. I brought my camera with me and I photographed and conducted interviews with the disaster response people, with business owners, and with victims. Now, these are a few outputs of the stroll. As you can see, there are a lot of devastations caused by this typhoon, and specifically this video. I also posted a video on December 19th where I interviewed people. I've already said that. But what made me really happy for this, what the impact of this video was, I have received private messages wherein they saying, oh, because of your video, I was able to provide support for my family back in Lapu-Lapu and in Cebu. Because in a time where resources are scarce, information must be made quickly to travel across borders because if you even get a single bag of rice late, that may mean death for a few families, especially yung walang-wala. Now, to answer the question, I did it on Facebook. There are also photos here on Unsplash, and there is also a thread I've created on Twitter just to raise awareness and to bring the urgency here from the news that was kind of slow to actually receiving donations. Now, one tool I use to directly fend off the after effects of debt, which is the lack of resources, was Tabangay. This was made by a fellow Cebu developer called Stephen Suiko, and we used Bubble.io for website development. It's a no-code tool, and basically what we did was we gave out data like, hey, we need a charging station, and then it lists out the nearest resource where they are available. And we got the validation of the information from fellow victims who were able to have internet access. They listed it there, and you can even update it if it's still available or now unavailable. Apart from that, we also used tools from Globe, like the network provider Globe. We used Twitter API. I specifically took man this endeavor wherein I contacted Twitter to give me access to a bit of their internal tools, and Facebook Graph API, which is the same thing with Twitter. But all of these tools do the same thing. Whenever there's a new listing, like let's say Viera Residences was a new charging station, it was just uploaded after you add a resource location. It would automatically A, text you about it for free, B, update the comment section of a Facebook thread, and C, update us with Twitter thread about it because the more platforms we're on, the wider our reach, the easier help and information can be disseminated. For this, as you've noticed, the user experience and the UI needs work because this was done on the rush. Therefore, I used Figma to create social media posts as well as layouts and revamp the entire design from this to this. And what happens when you click, you open a card. I made sure that it would be responsive. When you click a card, this appears as Tell Subdivision. It's a charging station, a photo of it, the location on the map, the time it was updated, the, the kilometers away, if it's available or if it's not, comments from the users, even the resource bin. I made that all with Figma. Lastly, we used Android Studio for offline mobile app, which is this, hosted on Discord, our internal communication tool of choice. This was the Android output. Discord is where we talked about for Tabangay developers. I worked with really, really talented developers and tech people as well. And this is Loom, wherein if you send a link, it's sort of like a private YouTube for your own personal team. This is what we used. And Stephen always communicated with me. our lead via Loom. I'm sort of like the second in command because of I was the first person who approached him and said that, "Hey, I know about Bubble." Okay, lastly, no, we used Notion for task management. This was our issue tracker, meaning what we need. It was like our task tracker. These were my tasks, my stuff I hadn't done, next up, in progress, and the stuff I've completed, which is, whoa, that's actually a lot. Anyway, that was my contribution as somebody privileged during Typhoon Odette. I hope you have learned something new, ma'am, and I hope to well, it's really bad of me to saying I hope I could help more people during disasters, but it's inevitable. And yeah, I hope you learned a lot, ma'am, and stay hydrated, stay safe. Thank you.